Okay, can you talk for me, Tisha? Just say hello.
Hello? Can you hear me?
There we go. And then Diamond, can you say hello?
Hello.
There we go. Okay, I just want to make sure all three of us will be up there. Here we go. All right. It looks like we are live and it is 8:00 p.m. on the dot. It doesn't get any better than that. Okay, maybe it's turning 8:01 right now, but I think we're doing pretty good. So if you would not mind, this is Trinace Richardson and we are the Real Women Facebook chat live on Tuesday nights. Please share and like us, love us, say hello to us, but share this out with someone to let them know that we are on. We would love to have a conversation with you tonight. So I'm going to share it a couple of places right now, and I'm inviting you to do the same thing. We are on live. All right, and we have guests, as you can see, so let someone know Real Women has some folks on, and we are about to chat it up. Share it and like us. Tell us you're here. Tell us who you are. Give us a shout out on your page and let someone know that we're here. All right. Just giving you a couple of minutes to share it out with someone, because when we start chatting, we just keep it going. So please let someone know that we're here. And listen, if there are any technical difficulties, if you can't hear us or if you can't see us, please let us know. Don't leave us hanging out there, you know, with spinach in our teeth and you don't tell us. Let us know that you see something wrong and so we can fix it for you. Hey there, Jessica. I can't see all of you who are coming in, but if you say hello to me, I believe I'll be able to see you. So wouldn't mind you saying hello. Hey there, Rhonda. And I think I'm going to share it with one more group and we'll be ready to roll. Come on in. Please let someone know that we're here. We're only here for a half an hour, so they've got to catch us while we're here. And then, of course, they can definitely catch the replay. But I would love for them to join the conversation. If you are connected to Real Women, just know we are about to give a sneak peek as to what happens. Hi there, Kim. Hi there, Regina. Thank you for being with us. Please share and like and let someone know that we're here tonight. We won't be with you long, but we want to share a few nuggets with you about who we are and give you a behind the scenes experience of what we do at Real Women. All right. It's 8:03 and I have shared it and I'm hopeful that you have as well. I have a couple of places where I'm looking just to make sure we are as responsive to you as possible, because we want this to be interactive. We don't just want to talk to you. We want you to talk with us as well. So feel free to comment in the chat box. You can let us know who you are. Let us know that you're here, especially if you have had an experience at any point in time with Real Women. This is an opportunity for you to talk about your experience with Real Women, because we're going to be talking about two Real Women tonight. And if you've been involved in any way, you'll definitely want, let's see, I want to make sure I don't have an unstable connection. There we go. You want to make sure that you're able to chime in and share with us tonight. Hi there, Crystal. Come on in. All right, so let me do my formal introduction now that we're getting started. My name is Trenace Richardson. I am the founder of Real Women, and we create safe spaces for women to do personal development work on themselves. We do that through local, live, as well as virtual sister circles. You're welcome to come to any of our local live sister circles if you are in or near Maryland, DC, Virginia, that metro area, or in Hampton Roads, Virginia. We literally host a Real Women Sister Circle every Saturday of every month, except for the 5th Saturdays. And we also host them on 4th Sundays for our young adult Real Women community. So all you need is to go to realwomenrock.org, and we put it in the heading for you. Go to realwomenrock.org to find out more information about, for example, this coming Saturday, which circles will be meeting this Saturday. You want to go to our website and you find out about our Real Women Hampton Roads and our Real Women Baltimore circles that are meeting this Saturday. In addition to that, our virtual sister circles are one benefit of our all access membership. There are tons of different ways that we appreciate and connect with our all access members. And so if you want to know more about being more connected to our community and not just in these Facebook Lives, you're welcome to go again to realwomenrock.org. You would go to the Work With Us tab and click on Become an All Access Member, and it will explain a whole lot to you there. We have tons of exciting things coming for our all access members, including member benefits to different organizations and businesses. And also they are always given the opportunity to come to some of our events free and all of our events at a reduced rate. And so that's just the benefit of being an all access member. And we're going to talk about two of our events. We're going to talk about two of them, but one in particular that our all access members get the opportunity to attend at a reduced rate. And then we're going to talk about our facilitator training. Many of you have hit me up in recent weeks asking me about our facilitator training, and this is our opportunity to talk about it. So I want to give you some update on it. Thank you all for sharing. I see some of you have shared and some of you are watching. Thank you for that. Let me give you a little bit about what our Real Women Facilitator training is, because you're about to meet two incredible women who have wonderful exploits of their own. They are doing incredible, awesome things that I don't want them to be shy about when I introduce them. But I also want you to know that about their participation in our facilitator training. Real Women, our goal is to host sister circles across the country and abroad. That means no matter where a woman lives in the world, we want her to have access to a sister circle and a safe space where she can process and develop on a personal level, on a soul level, where, you know, it's not just about getting a better job. It's not just about networking, but it's about connecting with women in a real way so that we can be our best selves. That's what we're about. And so in order for us to be everywhere, we've got to train facilitators. But we don't just want to train facilitators to be real women facilitators. We want to train women to be lead facilitators of any group, of any organization, and do it more effectively. And we have found a formula that we believe works really well. We've gotten positive feedback from our attendees of our sister circles, our annual intensives, which we'll talk about soon, that the way in which we put information together really works for the people who attend. And the interaction that's involved in our sister circles really works for those who attend. So we decided to bottle up what we're doing and to put it out in the world in a facilitator training. We certify facilitators so that you know when you hear someone has been certified as a facilitator through Real Women, you know they have gone through a specific type of training. And they use that wherever they feel it is most best used, whether it's on their jobs, in ministries, in civic organizations. And so that's just a little bit about who we are. Hey, Carla. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, B. Hi, Sonia. So glad you all are here. I need you now to meet the folks who are here with me because they represent a small group of women who have just finished going through the training. We can now boast of almost 50 women who have gone through our training over the last few years. And as a result of that, we have wonderful feedback from our surveys and testimonials. But we thought we would allow you to meet some of them in person tonight for just a few minutes. And so I'll ask that these women, I'll introduce them separately, but I would ask that they would share a little bit about themselves first, who they are, and what they're connected to outside of this training so that you can know some wonderful things that they're doing personally. I'll start with Diamond McBride. I just think this is an incredible, and I'm saying young woman Diamond because I'm 44, I'll be 45 this year. So I think she is an incredible young woman who is so service oriented. Her heart is all about serving others. And the fact that she's a part of this training has really just made my heart glad because she has been active and participating in it. And I know she's going to take it and move it and use the information for incredible things. So Diamond, that's my introduction. Would you mind sharing a little bit about yourself with us, please?
Hi, everyone. I'm Diamond McBride. This facilitator class has blessed my life tremendously. I am president and CEO of the McBride Office Solutions, which I just transitioned to full-time president and CEO and left my
Woo! I'm sorry.
In addition to that, I'm also connected with other organizations, Phenomenal Young Women, which is an amazing organization for our young girls. And I also lead heavily in my church's women's ministry, Greater Lighthouse Church. So I was actually referred to Real Women with Ms. Taj, and everything that I have heard about you all is just exceeded my expectations. And this facilitator class has pulled out gifts and talents in me that I didn't know was there, and also provide a platform for me to grow and develop in a way of an actual role of a facilitator and not taking charge of a small group or women's ministry or anything, but just kind of leading in a way that is against the clock with communication. And my favorite thing about this course was knowing the kind of container that I am. That's one. You know, sometimes we think we're ready, we can handle different interactions with women in small groups when we haven't even been through what they've been through. So when something heavy comes on us, it could be a potential that we can't handle it. So the way that you broke that down, it was in a different light that I've never experienced. So I'm excited to see what's to come from my official status, my graduation, I call it. And I'm here for you all. I'm here for Real Women, and I appreciate you.
Yeah. Listen, thank you so much. You just made me, girl, I could scream over here. And this is, for everyone watching, we have been together, these women as well as a few others, and they sent their love, and I just read a couple to Tisha before we got on. They sent their well wishes, but just couldn't be here because of work and all those things. So this is really the culmination of our 3 weeks together. And so it literally is a graduation. And at the end of our facilitators training, they get a certificate, they get a seal of certification that says that they have been through this program. They get posted on our website as a certified facilitator. And that lets you know you can reach out to these women, and they have been introduced to material that would cause them to interact with your audience, your group, your ministry, whatever you have, in a very interactive, compassionate way. So thank you for everything that you said. I'm going to dig into some of what you said in a second, but I want to introduce Tisha first, because you gave some goodies already that I really want to make sure that we share with our audience tonight. But I want them to know who you are, Tisha. And I would just say, I'm not gonna say it like I said it earlier when you and I was on here together. I'm gonna call you. You are an OG. I'm gonna say an OG when it comes to Real Women, because you have been connected with us for as long as I can remember doing this work. And I am just so honored that you have seen the quality and the worth and the value in our connection in Real Women. We are connected outside of Real Women as well, but seen the value of Real Women, that you have remained connected for years. And so you are doing wonderful things in your community. I see, before I saw you even connected on a regular basis with Real Women, I would see you out in the community because you're so service oriented. And I think, God just has a way of connecting people who are like-minded and like-spirited together. And so I'm so honored to call you a friend. Would you mind introducing yourself? And don't be shy.
No, I'm Tisha Jackson, and I am a member of Real Women. Love these women. They came into my life at a time in which I actually lost myself. I didn't know who I was. I say married with children, but kind of lost who I was as an individual. And so when I was introduced to Real Women, that's when I kind of blossomed as a flower. I began to redefine who I am. And so being a part of Real Women, I'm also a troop leader with Girl Scouts. I'm also a member of Awana at our church at Evangel Cathedral. I've served in whatever capacity that needs to be served. I mean, my gift is administration, so I do what I do. Very time oriented, manage my time good. Yeah, I procrastinate a little bit, but I know how to get back in line. As far as the training that we received, it provided the framework that I needed in order to be better organized in preparing myself as a facilitator. My goal is within the next 3 to 5 years, I plan to relocate. So I am preparing myself for the future. So wherever I go, Real Women shall go with me.
Girl,
so,
you're going to make me scream.
So I'm in training. I'm in training, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Just the connection as we all grow together, because that's really what happens. Whether you go through the 3 weeks of growing together in the training, or whether you come every month to a Real Women Sister Circle, we get the opportunity to grow together. And so we get to see each other, when we started together at point A to the point where we are now. And I just am so elated to hear, because you are so service oriented and you're organized and administrative minded, and you're always ready to serve. And as you have said, I've noticed that folks pull on you and push you toward areas of leadership and service because they see it in you. So I'm just glad that you've chosen us to take this journey with, because we're honored to have you. And look, y'all, Aretha's on. Yay. Aretha is in the comments, and she's one of our cohort this time. And Aretha says, it was a wonderful training. It is truly a long-lasting, life-changing experience. Girl, that's a sentence. That's a mouthful. Thank you so much. So Aretha, just know, as I ask these last couple of questions, I will be asking you as well. So feel free to put it in the chat. Now, listen, this is what I want you all to know while you are listening. I'm going to talk a bit more about the facilitator training, just so you can get a behind the scenes of it. But I also am going to talk about the summer intensive. So if you have any questions about what we are talking about right now, what we are going over, any questions at all, please feel free to post them in the chat so that we can answer questions for you. Okay. Okay. So you gave a little bit of a tidbit already, Diamond, but I'd love for you to elaborate a little bit, if you wouldn't mind. And I'll give some context. So the 6 pillars that we discuss in Real Women are the important pillars that we base all of our work on as facilitators inside of Real Women. And we believe that outside of Real Women, these are the most effective things to focus on. And we don't just say, these are the 6, right? So the first 2 are culture and compassion. Let that sink in, right? That we really need to analyze culture and to evaluate our level of compassion when it comes to facilitating groups and dealing with folks. The second 2 are our meat and potatoes. They are content and they are creativity, because you can love on people all you want, but if you are hosting something that they're supposed to gain something from and you don't have quality content, you're not gonna keep them long, right? And then the last 2, which Diamond alluded to, were communication and the clock, because we want to make sure that we are effective in our communication and that we are perceptive about what people are communicating to us, both verbal and nonverbal. And then we also want to make sure that we're mindful of the clock, because if you tell people you're going to be done in 2 hours and you're 3 or 4 hours, you've lost them, right? So we talk about all 6 of those, and we don't just say they're important. We really dig in to why they're important and what you do with them. So I'm asking both of you, Tisha and Diamond, you mentioned what your favorite one was, Diamond, and if you could just tell, or you could highlight anything else you want to, but if you could give me some highlight nuggets from what you gained from it, and then Tisha, I'll ask you to do the same, and Aretha, you can put yours in the chat. Go for it.
Okay. The one that I had spoke on was knowing the container that you are. Growing into becoming a facilitator, it's something that I kind of walked into, and I didn't know that I was walking into it. So I wasn't properly trained. It was kind of like on-the-job training in a sense.
Yeah.
Prior to this class. And so growing through being a facilitator, step by step, I realized there are things that certain facilitators have to know, and that's managing the clock. So if we have a session that is 1 hour, for me personally, it was the book club that I was helping out with. And I had to make sure that even as deep as we got, and we can all be in tears, we can all be crying and praying in this session, we still had to make sure that we were flowing with the questions, and that we be mindful that we have to stop at a certain time. And there are times when people want to talk longer, and, and will be disrespectful, and just kind of finding a way to bring it back into perspective in a way that's not harsh or coming off wrong. And one of the examples that you gave us was someone speaking something that changed the tone of the atmosphere, saying something about, I would never shop at a thrift store, for example, or something like that, and how that would have changed the atmosphere of someone around, and how the facilitator had to be the one to bring it back in. Yes, this is something great. How we responded was what was biggest. And then this leads us to knowing the kind of container that we are, what you said, if we're lightweight or if we can handle something that's heavier. If we're lightweight and that happened, we could have gotten offended and reacted in a different way. But if we've handled something like that and we're considered a heavyweight container or something that can handle heavier topics, we can take the punches and keep it rolling, but also be mindful of the people who they possibly offended. So growing as a facilitator, I would not have known that in the beginning. I would have not, even still, I still would not have known that that could be an option. That could be a possibility, that even my actions could offend someone, or even my actions can show that Real Women really isn't what they're all about. Because how can your facilitator act that way just because it kind of hit a nerve with them? You know what I mean? So I've really enjoyed that part of the training.
Yeah, if I could elaborate, you said so much, and thank you for that. And I love that you retained so much of what we talked about. But when you talked about that container, the fact that our content, what we're going to share, it comes out of us. And so we have to know who we are and how we're made up and what our triggers are and what our quirks are, so that that doesn't spill onto other people's plate. When we're trying to help other people process their stuff, we've got to be aware of what our stuff is. And you're so right that a lot of times if we're not aware of who we are and what kind of things, you know, get to us, then we will unfairly evaluate or judge or impose some of our negativity on someone else in the circle, when we're literally supposed to be there making it easier for other people to get better and be better. And so it's for all of us, but we just have to be really sensitive about what's happening in the room as facilitators, and that's really knowing who we are. So thank you so much for sharing that. And Aretha said the best thing you can do is get very good at being you. Girl, you said it in a mouth. That's a quick mouthful. That's because we spent more than half of the time talking about ourselves. You know, we did the logistics, we talked about content and structure and good topics and all those kinds of things, but we spent a lot of time talking about ourselves because it takes a lot of knowledge about self in order to move forward. So I thank you for that, Diamond. I would ask you, Tisha, what was a highlight for you?
It was more so of the content questions, and the D3 is where you dig once for the topic and you come up with your question, and then D2 is when you answer your question, and D3 is where you put your creativity into how you're going to present, you know, your topic and your answer. So me, I'm process oriented, so that's that 1, 2, 3. So I'm like, there's my framework, and being able to stay within the boundaries of that framework within that time frame that you've been given. So yeah, time is key. So I saw that as helping me. And like you said, being yourself, being authentic, people have to know that they're seeing the true you, and you being able to share and having compassion as you're facilitating those trainings. And of course, not getting so entrenched in it, but still being aware of what's happening around you. So that's what I grasped out of it.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we talked about the D3 during our content and creativity sessions, and that was an awesome time for us as the facilitators in the training to have the opportunity to come up with our own topics and to create our questions and our answers and the creative ways in which we would present those. And so we had a lot of fun with that. I remember some sunglasses being mentioned. And so we just had a whole lot of fun with what would we do with certain objects, and what would we do with wallets and pocketbooks and all those things. We had a lot of fun with it. And so I love, because what we're only asking is that a facilitator would draw from themselves what's already in them. What are your interests? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? Because when you bring you to the table, there's a uniqueness already there because you are unique. And so we had a lot of fun with that. So thank you for mentioning that. The last thing I'll say is, you all mentioned, both of you mentioned the time conscious piece and just making sure that we honor the clock. And within that time frame, we have the freedom to allow so much to happen. It's just, you know, by the time you get to the end, you don't want anybody to be looking at their watch before you've had the opportunity to acknowledge the time. And so we talked about that just in that context. And one of the key things that I'm just going to throw out here as a free nugget for anyone who is leading groups or aspiring to lead groups is that when you're always going to have quiet people in the room. You're always going to have very vocal people in the room who are quick to raise their hand. I'm guilty of that. If there's we talked about this in the training. If there's a quiet moment, I want to be the one to fill it, right? Because I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable with the quiet, uncomfortable pause. But that's the leader part of me, the extrovert part of me, that's not introverted, that I want to make sure that everybody's okay. And so I'll say something. It's okay sometimes to just say, as the facilitator, so is there anyone else in the room who has not already spoken? Is there anyone who would like to speak who has not already spoken? That just means the world to people who are introverts and who would not normally raise their hand to speak because they know that sister so-and-so beside them is going to say something. So it makes all the difference in the world. So those were some of the fun things that we talked about. And Addie said, randomly curious, do the facilitators come up with the topics, or how are those generated? Also, are topics intentionally repeated in across circles? Great question. So the answer to your first question is yes and no, right? So to both of them. So at the very beginning of the start of a sister circle, we have set topics that we begin those circles with, because we believe when you're just starting a circle, you're really just formulating community, right? So we want to make sure that people feel comfortable with each other and that we create this environment that's conducive for a safe space. So in order to do that, we've got set topics that we always start with that kind of ease people into the conversation of, you know, intimate things that they wouldn't normally talk about with other women, maybe that they don't know already. Once we get to the point where the facilitator kind of knows their circle after about 3 or 4 weeks, then they get to feel the energy of their circle and what the needs are, because they've been talking and interacting. And so they get to come up with topics as they emerge after we get through the first basic ones that are required at the beginning. Hopefully that makes sense. And then, yes, they are intentionally repeated. As I mentioned, we've had this banter back and forth about whether we want to keep all of the circles on the same track, and we've noticed that there are different needs in different circles. And so we do try to make sure that an effective topic makes its way across all of the circles so that we all have that conversation in common, right? Especially our all access members, we get to talk about all of those topics in our virtual sister circles. And so we want to get them around to all of the circles as much as possible, but they may not be happening at the same time. Hopefully that answers your question, Addie. And then the last, the last one, communication, deciding if you want to simply communicate or if you want to commune. Ooh, Aretha, this was her highlight. And Kia Mason is gonna love this. I'm gonna tag her on this just to make sure she sees it. I told y'all this is her favorite quote from the training. Words are the clothes your thoughts wear. We talked about the fact that communication is not real communication unless you are connecting with and communing with the folks that you're in the room with, whether it's virtual or live. And that means you have to give a part of yourself in the communication. So thank you for highlighting that one too, Aretha. That's awesome.
Yes.
And so I will ask, because I've promised these women that I would only hold them for half an hour. And so I'm going to give them the freedom after this half an hour. See, I'm time conscious. I'm going to give them the freedom after this half an hour to stay on, or for the last 10 minutes that I'm going to be on, or to be released to dinner and family and all those wonderful things, because I did commit that to them. But if you have any final thoughts, I would specifically pose the final thought as, would you encourage other women to take this facilitator training if they're thinking about leading others, and maybe why? Or if you have any final thoughts at all that you'd like to share. Diamond, would you like to go first?
Sure, I'm definitely going to recommend this to other women who's leading, because we don't have this. So I'm just speaking from a perspective of just coming out of corporate. Corporate provides a whole lot of professional development classes, professional, development options, even on the job. When you're working as entrepreneurs, which I sense that God is leading a lot of women to do, you don't have this. You have to go out and find it, and you have to dedicate yourself to it in order for you to be successful. So for me personally, if I'm planning to start to host, any kind of events or any kind of sister circles, even if it's under Real Women, I want to make sure that I'm showing up with the best level of professionalism that I can. Not that I'm too much of a perfectionist, but there's a certain way of things that I feel that I need to do for my life because God's name is on it. And the way that your facilitation class is set up, where we know that this is from God. We know that this is something that God has placed in your heart just by the way you commune with us. There's some things that you get in our brains about where I'm like, there's no way she should know this, So personally, my takeaway is to surely recommend this to any women who are trying to lead, or just women in their houses leading their homes, because we're facilitators at home too,
That's true.
Homework, Girl Scouts, like you said, Miss Tisha. So I would recommend this, and I really am truly blessed by this entire process.
Thank you so much, Diamond. Your words, they fall heavy on my heart. I really appreciate everything you just shared. And I'm looking forward to how we continue to grow together, because it doesn't stop after the training. We're always connected as a result of this. So, Tisha, what would you have to add?
I would have, again, I'm structured oriented. So I'm like, it gives that those boundaries that you need to work within, because sometimes when you go to certain sessions or training, people are just all over the place.
Yeah.
And so to me, it gives you that structure from beginning to end, and you know what goals that you're looking to achieve, within that time frame that you're trying to achieve it in. So
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yes. And as much as opportunity bring, they have the opportunity to share, and we're doing better. We're getting better at making sure whomever wants to share in the interactive space that we provide does. There still has to be a structure so that people feel there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end to this. And I'm leaving with some tangible takeaways, and not just this airy conversation that made me feel good. So thank you for sharing that. Upstairs, great support system. Thank you so much, Aretha. It has been a pleasure connecting with you all these last 3 weeks, and you did it literally. Yay. You met with your accountability partners. Yay. You did the homework, and we had fun homework. We had challenging homework, but we had fun homework. And you tuned in and you watch the recording where need be. So I just want to celebrate you ladies and those who did the training, but will watch this later. I'm just so proud of you, and just know that from the interaction that we've had, from the feedback that you've given, that you are absolutely ready to move in the next phases of your facilitation and your leadership, to be quality contribution to wherever you are, and to Real Women. So I'm excited about that. Thank you. And so I want to make sure I just say, if you need to disappear, you're welcome to do that. It won't harm anything if you cut your connection off. But I did want to talk, just for as we're closing, I wanted to say something really quickly about our intensive, because September 20th, 21st, and 22nd, it is going to be unlike any other intensive we've had. And I see you're still, let me make sure before I say it. I see you're still on, Tisha. So if you're going to be on for a couple of minutes, I'd love for you to give a couple of words about this, if you don't mind, in a couple of minutes. But what I really love about our intensives, we call them our sister circles on steroids, because we get 3 days together, and it's not 3 full days. We come together on Friday afternoon and we leave on Sunday afternoon, but we come together and it is all focused on personally developing and ourselves, and to helping each other develop. And we focus it around a theme every year, so that there's this very intentional way in which we're going to look at personal development. And this year it's called Real Women Are Out of This World, because we really want you to gather the oomph inside of you to do this year, this decade, what you thought was too late for you, what you thought was impossible for you, what you thought was laying dormant in you, to really revive some things, even if it's just about your personality. I've heard some women say, I lost my fun side just with the duties of being a mom and an employee and a wife. I lost my fun loving side, and I've been able to revive that as a result of being connected with you all. Whatever that looks like for you, we want you to really transcend your current situations and just believe with us that you are out of this world, which means there are no limitations on you whatsoever. And so we have guest facilitators facilitators that are going to be with us this year. We've already announced Reverend Anika Wilson Brown, who is absolutely incredible, Reverend Sabrina Mangrum, and don't let these reverend titles fool you. They are coming with the real. And so they're going to be coming talking about their stories and how they can effectively help us grow from the inside out. And so I'm just excited about them. And if you hang on for 5 more minutes, I'm going to tell you who our third guest facilitator is. But I would love for you in just maybe a couple of minutes of time, Tisha, if you wouldn't mind talking about your experience going to the intensive and what they've been like for you.
Oh, wow. I've loved the intensive. Every year I look forward to going. And with the theme that you have for this year, I'm like, oh my God, why is she all in my business?
Girl.
Because I am coming out of my comfort zone. So when you see me do what I do, you know I'm stepping out, whether it be for leadership, facilitators. I'm like, you know what? Being financially debt free, when I say I'm stepping out, I'm stepping out. And so I'm, how you say, doing it afraid, but I'm going to do the daggone thing. And if you want to come along, you can come with me. But it's been refreshing. It's like sometimes you just need a break from just everything. And so it allows you to, it's like going to the gas station. You go, I'm empty, I need to fill up, and I want 93 octane, fill me up. And when I come back home, I'm ready. I'm ready. So, I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to. And then, of course, we're going to do something special this particular session because I love to paint. I think people who know me, I mean, I like to do the daggone thing. So, I mean, yeah, so I'm willing to I'm going for it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I see so many wonderful things that are coming out of us from this training, from our time in Real Women. And yes, this topic, being out of this world, and I'm looking so forward to all of the things that are coming out of you, even Tisha, as a result of all of this. But I really believe if you have some things you have been longing to tap into, go to our webpage, realwomenrock.org. Go to the events page. As soon as you go to our page, the intensive is going to pop up. So you're welcome to just click on that, scroll down and click on that so that you can get information about it. But you can go to the website and go to our events page to get more information. But this is what you need to know. And then I'm going to announce our speaker and leader at the intensive. What you included except for your dinner when you see your rates. Now, of course, our all access members have their own special rate because we appreciate them being all access members. And the paint party that Tisha mentioned, that's for our all access members because we love our all access members. But then there is for everybody, the general public, there is a commuter rate and there is a lodging rate. If you choose the commuter rate, that means you're going to go back home in the evenings because we'll be done at 6 o'clock every evening. Yes, Naomi Sandy Washington. Yes, I'm so glad you're going to be there. And then if you choose the all access lodging, the lodging rate, if you choose that lodging rate, everything is included in that, whatever that amount is, all of it is included. You just have to decide if you want a roommate or not. And depending upon how many roommates you choose to have, the number goes down. So the only thing that's not included is dinner. And that you can have fun on your own after 6 o'clock, enjoy the beach. We're going to be in Ocean City, Maryland. And our last guest facilitator is Dr. Vicki Johnson.
Yes.
So
I'm excited.
I know that she has a tribe all her own. She is a mentor of mentors. I'm about to post about her being our guest facilitator, and I'll be teaching there as well. So I'm just so excited about what's about to happen. You're going to hear more and more about it. We just wanted to end this live by encouraging you to get your girlfriends together and tell them September 20th, 21st, and 22nd, we're going to be in Ocean City. And so thank y'all so much, Diamond. Thank you so much, Tisha. Thank you, Aretha, for being on with us. We went over a few minutes, but you all were very interactive with us. So we appreciate you all being here with us. And I just want to celebrate these ladies one more time for completing their training. Woo! So thank you all so much for being with us. We will be back here again next Tuesday at 8 p.m. to just have a chat, give you a sneak peek into what it means to be a part of Real Women. Until then, you can go to realwomenrock.org. Again, that's realwomenrock.org to find out more information about us. Y'all have a good night. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.